at the end of the day, if you're not going to do, and then I'm tired of hearing everybody say, "Oh, it's Arteta's fault." I'm like, first and foremost, Arteta can only set up with the players that he has in
Okay.
midfield. Who else is he bringing in midfield? Who else are we bringing? Ethan Nwaneri. That's the only other
Okay.
midfield that we could have said, okay, bring him in.
Creative midfielder.
Yeah, but now you're saying he should bring in a creative midfielder in a game like this because it's the type of game you'll expect Ethan to play in because it's Bournemouth. But at the same time, Mikel has the tendency to default to senior players. In the attack, we had nobody else to put in there. We had to play the people we played in attack. Martinelli was a last-minute add-on to the sub. Yep. Martinelli almost did not make it onto the bench, according to all the medical reports and according to Mikel Arteta, the review as well. Like, oh, is Martinelli going to play? He says, we don't know. We still have to review him, and then we'll let you guys know. So at the end of the day, it's a case for me where I'm just like, you know what? Look, very, very poor today. Performance-wise, very, very poor. Setup-wise, I don't think he set us up horribly. I think the quality was there in the initial setup to be able to beat Bournemouth. I think
I disagree with you. I think setup was not the right setup.
A front three of Trossard on the left, who has played left for us all season last season and came off the bench and scored playing on the left for us all season last season. And just because we played him in a couple of games this season in the Odegaard role, we're now saying he's better in the Odegaard role because recency bias allows us to just remember what he did recently and forget that the whole season last season, he was our second highest goal scorer, scoring from the left. So what happened to Trossard playing off the left, Raheem Sterling playing off the right, and Kai Havertz down the middle?
Even if Raheem Sterling played off the right, then Trossard played off the left.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm saying my point is, why isn't Trossard performing like he did last season on the left? Suddenly, he doesn't know how to play on the left anymore.
He had a few chances. He doesn't have the pace. He doesn't have the pace.
I'm saying that front three was good enough to at least put balls in the back of the net against Bournemouth.
But don't you think the midfield setup was not good enough to make that front three productive?
The midfield setup, I think, was good enough because the midfield setup did not need to be super creative. Win the ball high defensively up the pitch and push it to these three players. Win the ball high defensively up the pitch. There's three defense.
The final pass wasn't there today. For some reason, the pass before you can get something creative to the attacking player was not just there today. Let's be fair. That was like, why didn't you play one area? Will be something that the Bournemouth players will be struggling to grapple with what it's going to provide because it's an unknown quantity and it's good enough. Number one, it's an unknown quantity and it's good enough. We need to see if you notice the first 20 minutes, you just see what Bournemouth was doing to our players. They made sure Thomas Partey was not going to turn. They pressed so high, they knew that our creativity starts from Thomas Partey. That we're going to make sure we press you and make you redundant. And I was expecting Rice to become an outlet to help Thomas Partey to actually subsidize what Bournemouth was doing. But what did he do today?
No, like I said, none of the players stepped up to the plate today. And for me, I'm not even going to sit here and try to justify anything that they did. We deserve that loss as it is. I think this will sharpen things up for us. Now we're going to the Liverpool game without Saliba. I think that there's a bigger picture when people that the players themselves need to look at. When your manager sets you up in a certain way, I can't blame Mikel Arteta for the players he put on the pitch. Let's be honest about it, because we have injuries. And who are you going to put? Who are you literally going to put on the pitch? We keep talking about Ethan Nwaneri, but let's be honest about it. Yes, as much as he's a talent and he looks good on the ball ever since he's coming for the few minutes he's coming, he's not a Lamine Yamal. Ethan Nwaneri is not a Lamine Yamal. He's not a.
But you don't need him to be that. You need him to just provide
what I mean by that is he's not. Yes, look, that's the only other maybe slightly creative player that we have on that right hand side that can come in and something. If that boy gets injured, we're done.
Anyone can get injured.
I know. So my point is, in this type of games, though, in this type of games like Bournemouth, I don't think the setup was terrible. I think that those players have what it takes. And then there's this whole logic that people are like, we played 3 defensive midfielders. Mikel Merino plays a 10 role for Spain just over the weekend.
But he can never play the way an Odegaard or Nwaneri played.
I know, but the point is, in one game, though, just step up. But listen, here's the thing. This is why I'm saying there was still enough quality in that team to be able to go out there.
I understand academically, there's enough quality, but in terms of doing it, we saw the empirical evidence. academically, by the names of the players, they should be doing it, but what they do on the pitch, it didn't add up today. That I think we should have played one who is a more dynamic, who is a youngster, is an unknown quantity to the Bournemouth player. So he will provide something they might not be expecting.
It was a frustrating watch.
It was a horrible watch. Horrible watch.
Very, very frustrating watch. I mean, to be honest with you, and then Mikel Arteta would also be blamed for the substitutions that he made as soon as we got a red card. Was it a red card? Yes, it was.
Definitely, definitely red card.
By the letter of law. But it's frustrating when you get a red card and then you take off the only player that is the fastest on the pitch and bring in Jacob Kiwior, who you now eventually have to sub again.
But if you look at Raheem Sterling, what was he doing? Now he had a chance. Hit it with your left.
But this is my point though. You're now down to 10 men.
Yeah.
You still need one creative outlet. One outburst.
One outlet.
You need one outlet. Nobody else on that pitch is as fast as him. I argue that if I take off a Merino and I leave a Partey and Rice, right? And I play a back three and I leave Raheem Sterling on that left hand on that right hand side, when we get a chance to break out, he's the kind of player that can run with the ball all the way to the touchline and allow us build up, and we could have maybe seen a breakout, scored a goal or something.
How do you take out a Merino who was performing better than Rice in that match?
Because you've gone down to 10 men. My point is, I'm just saying, like, example, you can take out Rice, you can take out Merino, you can take out Partey. My point is, you're going to have to have Ben White, Raheem Sterling playing as a wing back on this side. You're going to have what's his name, Gabriel Calafiori, and then in front of Calafiori you can drop Rice, and then Partey right in that middle, right in front of everybody there. You then have Havertz, and then you have Raheem Sterling. As I said, these will be outlets for you. If you want it to be Havertz that will go forward and receive the ball and hold up for Raheem Sterling to run out because he's quick and he will drag players with him, and then you release Raheem Sterling. We could have done something with that, but then you bring in a defensive player like Kiwior, so which means we drop back and we start defending.
Now, I can. I'll defend Arteta on that one because pre-red card, Raheem Sterling was making awful decisions, even though he has the pace. He was playing like Theo Walker today. All pace, no brains. So I can understand why he will look at Raheem Sterling. Okay, you are a bit frustrating today. Maybe we can be a bit more conservative, but if you have some good chances, you can take it. If Merino took his chance, maybe the story is different. If Martinelli took his chance, maybe the story is different. But today we made too many mistakes in the attack, in the midfield, and in defense. And the goalkeeper was just, I don't know what was wrong with Raya today. He just had a horrible off day today. It was just a litany of errors.
Yeah, just every single player you can point out one error or the other that they made. It's frustrating because now we're going into the next game without key players. We're going into the next game most likely, but maybe without Bukayo Saka, without Odegaard, and without Saliba. And I can argue that that's the spine of our team.
No, you're not arguing. That's the spine of our team. Objectively,
no, I'm saying no. You can, of course, because there's other people that say, well, you still guys still have Gabriel, you still have good defenders, you still have this in midfield, the Thomas Partey, you still have people that can make things happen. I'm like, I can argue that that's the spine as regards to like
the creativity of our team.
The creativity of our team when it comes to the brute force of our team is still there, but that creativity is literally, majority of our creativity comes from those three players, and not having three of them in one game is going to be a tough one against Liverpool at home. But against Bournemouth today, it's one of those games where you just look at it and you ask yourself, okay, so what were we doing? Like, what is it that these guys were doing?
See, the tone of the game goes, for me, the first 20 minutes just gave me that. When you start watching certain games, right, you can tell how the game might pan out. The first 20 minutes I'm not enjoying the fact that we're a bit too pedestrian, too lackadaisical, too sideways passing. There was nobody trying to take responsibility in the midfield to drive the ball forward. If you notice, ball started pressing and pressing. You're getting encouraged to press us harder and further. I'm not like, we need somebody to show some cojones. What is going on here?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I still don't understand. After I've seen certain players, like for example, a player like Merino playing the 10. And he was playing high up today. If you saw him when we started the game, Merino was playing high up as a
He was playing high up today,
he was really playing high up today. And I was
but the problem was around that 6 and 8, right? They pressed at 6 and 8 so much that they couldn't supply the 10 so I can drive forward. There was a few moments Moreno drove forward. There was a pass to Raheem Sterling that Raheem Sterling would have done better. That was Moreno driving forward. But from that defense, right, when we're trying to play from the back, we were not creative enough. We're not dynamic enough. And I thought you have spotted that and tried to rectify it. We're also pedestrians.
Again, who when you say rectify, because I as you look at the bench, you bring in Martinelli, great. You bring in Ethan Nwaneri, great. We still look the same.
No, I don't think we look the same. We bring in only 10. I don't think so.
The only difference is the chance that Martinelli had, and that chance was not created by us. That chance was a Kepa mistake. So we still look the same because we didn't create anything with these players on the pitch. So, like, to me, at the end,
see, my point is that on that pitch,
I'm saying overall, we may have looked slightly better.
I think we have looked a lot better.
No, we look better optics wise. I'm saying output wise, we were the same. So optics wise, Ethan looked good at the ball. He got it from behind. He's flowing. He's taking the ball forward, just like how Rice drove with the ball in the first half, and we did nothing with it.
But see, if you do it consistently, creating chances about you repeating it, having the ability to repeat what you've done. We driving forward and moving ball forward was so few. Like, we can't do that.
I know, but it was just as few when these other players came in as well. So my point is there was something fundamentally wrong with just.
I don't think something was fundamental. I just think it was the profile of players. I bet if you had Saka and Odegaard in this game, we win this game 3-0.
That you can say that because obviously Saka and Odegaard bring a different dynamic to how we play, which is
that's my argument.
I know, but I'm saying with this quality of players that we had, I think that there was something fundamentally wrong with the connections between the players. We still have the quality with the players on the pitch today to win that game, but there was something fundamentally
quality to do what? See, Merino is not a natural 10. Can he do a job here and there? Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It was about focusing for that 90 minutes.
Oh, that is not his real skill set.
I agree with you, but you can't. It's like me going to war with somebody. I'm not a sniper. He's the sniper. He says, I'm on my way. I'll come and do the sniping job. But in the meantime, hold the gun. If you see anybody coming, I'm not asking you to snipe the main character, but at least be able to provide backup for the other guys.
But you're going to lack the accuracy of the sniper.
No. Here's the thing. But at least provide cover for the other snipers that are there while I'm not in my position. You can bring out your gun and do the dirty work and allow the Havertz who can, run in with the ball. My point is, there just was something fundamentally wrong with the connections between all of them.
I get your point, but you're not getting my point. My point is that, right? Let's use the sniper analogy. The point remains that I am not a sniper. I can't do the job as good as you are. I can't do the job as good as you are.
I'm not saying take over the position and do the job. I'm saying you can provide cover.
Even the cover will not be good enough. You have to look at it holistically.
Are we saying that the players that we put on the pitch today were not good enough to beat Bournemouth? Is that what we're saying?
Like I said, academically, by the names on the jersey, it should be good enough. But in doing the job, that's not their skill set. Merino is not a 10.
That means we both agree on saying that. I'm saying that something fundamentally wrong with that.
No. I'm saying Merino is not a 10. Seeing him playing 10, he won't do a good job like a Nwaneri or Odegaard who are naturally 10.
No, I'm not comparing. See, that's the thing again. I'm not saying that he would do it as good as Nwaneri or as good as Odegaard, who naturally can play in the 10. What I'm saying is, against a Bournemouth, is Merino in the 10 not good enough to beat a Bournemouth? Because
I'll answer you yes. As a 10,
that's what
I'm doing.
He can't.
He can't. You also the evidence. He couldn't do it today. The evidence before us.
No, the evidence is not just before. The evidence before today was just also because of that red card at 30-minute mark. That changed the entire.
Okay, before the red card. What clear chance did you create?
Before the red? No, that's exactly what I'm saying again. As a whole team, there was something fundamentally wrong today. Before the red card, we did not look like we were going to score. It did not feel like we were going to win this game from the first 20-25 minutes. It just felt like we were just cruising. We're just hoping for a set piece or two or something different, and we forget that some of these things that we've been doing in other games that we do like clockwork, like set pieces. Saka was not there to give in swingers today. It was Rice, who was doing out swingers, which is a different setup again, which is not what we usually do. We usually do in swingers with Rice from the left and Saka from the right.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Right? Let's say let's say you're driving a sedan, right? A sedan. And the tire size is a specific size, and one of the tires you use a slightly smaller size, and the other three are the same. Do you think the car will function the same way if the 4 tires were the same sizes?
Of course, it will function differently. So my point again is this: what is the duration and the destination that you're going to? Are you able to drive at a certain speed because you have a different size in the tire to be able to get to that destination?
Regardless, my key point is that regardless of the length or the duration of the travel, you are not going to be as effective if the 4 tires were the same.
Of course,
that's my main point.
I know you're not going to be as effective.
So that slight decline can affect the functionality of the whole team. That's my argument.
But we can't. I can't sit here and fathom that the quality of players we put on that pitch still was not good enough to beat Bournemouth, because a player who can
unless you are overly underestimating Bournemouth, they're a decent side.
I'm not saying they're not a decent side. Don't get me wrong again. Yes, they're a decent side, but we had enough quality. Okay, so as decent as they were, do we not have enough quality in our team to still beat them?
On a good day, yes. But even though there are some days that
so today was a bad day in the office. Now, on a good day in the office,
but there are contributing factors. That's my own argument. Even though this was a bad day, I still think if we had an Odegaard or Saka, we do better instead of a Merino and Raheem Sterling. That's my argument.
Of course, but we didn't have them. So my thing again is, look, these players are injured. They're not there. The manager can only set up again. The same manager we all want to blame for setting up with Merino and everybody. The manager can only set up with the players that are available to him.
Sure.
Up until the press thing that he did yesterday, or the day for yesterday, and they asked him about Martinelli. He said Martinelli just landed yesterday afternoon from Brazil. He came up for training in the morning. This morning, we're going to do some more tests. We don't know yet. He may make the squad. He may not make the squad. So the manager can only set up and pick his squad in the last minutes. And then again, people keep forgetting Ethan Nwaneri. All this noise they keep making about Ethan Nwaneri, 17-year-old kid. We keep forgetting that he's still in school.
That's not the point. But if you can do it, we can do a job.
I hear you, but I'm saying that we forget that this kid has his own how will I say it? Training sessions with the Arsenal squad. I don't think I personally, maybe I'm just speculating now, but from what I've read with players who and the laws and players who are under 18 and all of that, the amount of hours they train is different from the amount of hours the real senior team players train, and that contributes a factor to how the manager selects his team at the end of the week as well. If you've ever trained,
I get that point.
So maybe some of the reasons why he's not getting first team consistent minutes, like starting the game, is because of that for now. Now he's about to sign a new contract, and I think he's going to turn 18 or whatever it is. We're now talking. Now we're talking about he's going to be on the salary, like proper contract. Now we'll see what they do. Does Mikel trust him enough to bring him in? He's trusted him enough to pull him into the squad. Let's hope he trusts him enough to put
I think if he was trusted to play 90 minutes against Bolton in the Carabao Cup, I don't think there's any reason why he can't trust him to play a game with senior players against a Bournemouth team.
But you just said it yourself. My point again, Bournemouth is a very decent team.
Yeah, but as a 10, Nwaneri would have done better than Merino. I'm not saying Nwaneri is a better player than Merino, but as a 10, he's more dynamic than Merino as a 10.
I agree, he's more dynamic. I'm just saying, like, I still think that regardless, I mean, so what we're saying is if we get injuries to our players for the rest of the season, like Rodri is out for the rest of the season, we're saying these players that we fielded today cannot go and do the job. That is scary to think about.
No, I'm not saying they cannot do the job. They cannot do it consistently. Like we are competing for a title. We have to put that caveat there. We are competing for the title, right? I don't think if we have a litany of injury, we can compete. Even Man City, if you take away Rodri and De Bruyne for a specific period of time. I'm
saying like in one game in isolation, though. This one game in isolation, they should be able to do a job. I'm just disappointed you can't do a job one game, and it's that one game in isolation that you Saliba chooses to get a red card. You to play stupid. It's that same one game in isolation that Trossard is playing like a high school kid.
That pass.
I've never played football. It's in that same one game isolation that Jacob Kiwior, who came in, I was pointing everywhere. They said I should play here. You. In 20 minutes, caused the penalty and had to leave. in that same one game isolation, it's like everything that could go bad
Could go wrong.
You
Could
know,
go wrong. Went wrong today.
so yeah, so it's pretty frustrating, and I just wasn't having it. I just wasn't having it, man. Honestly,
I'm not happy. I refuse to go on Twitter since. I refuse to go and check the Arteta's press conference because I was livid. Because when I saw the team news, that was when my skepticism started. I'm like, I'm not feeling this team news. Academically, it looks solid. We're having Rice, Partey, and what was the last person? Merino in the midfield. It looks solid academically, but how they're going to play, like I've never seen a team play 3-10s or 3-8s. There's something missing. I wasn't feeling it. And when I started playing and I saw how we're playing, I'm like, it's looking like a long day. We're encouraging Bournemouth and encouraging them more and more. They're getting more confident in their game. And we saw what happened. So, it's a horrible game, horrible day for Arsenal. What do you think the way forward? Because we have to get this defeat out of our system as quick as possible. We have to.
They say some people said that they are watching the stream and they cannot comment. They said that the comments section is not open. Did you turn
I
off
did not do that. I'm sorry, guys. I did. Why would I turn on the comment section? Let me put a comment.
I can't even see people in the comment chats as well. Yeah.
Let me check. I don't know what's going on. I did not do that. Why would I not allow people to comment?
They're sending me message. They're saying that we're cry. I should tell the crybabies.
This is very funny.
I was even still saying we're going to win this game. Like I was confident we're going to do something, but then the longer the game went, the more I just realized like, yeah, this crop of players need more. They need more.
Can they comment? Let them try now.
I'm sure comments will start coming in once they can see. You can try and comment to.
This is strange.
Since you are watching the stream, you should be able to hear.
Yeah, go to the floor and comment now. Yeah, comments are coming in.
That's the person comment.
Well, I don't know what happened. Serious, I do not know. I didn't turn on no comment. I know what.
Yeah, like I said, everything that wants to go wrong will go wrong today.
Go to send me a message, tell me about how we don't know how to play with 10 men. Go over the floor. You be on Boo. While the game was getting to me, that's when you decided to tell me how Arsenal can't play with 10 men.
Let me ask you, we can't play with 10 men, but we played you guys. Why didn't you beat us?
Exactly. You said we can't play with 10 men.
You guys had the opportunity to show us how it's done. It took Bournemouth to show you how it's done. Bournemouth is the one that could play 10 men Arsenal and beat us 2-0. You had the same chance now to play.
That's called line actually. After the match, for the first time in a long time, right? I had no reaction. I wasn't sad. I wasn't happy. I was just moping. I was moping.
I haven't seen a 2-0 Arsenal scoreline to the other team.
That was deserved.
Very
deserved.
I mean, but this one was, of course, this was well deserved. But I'm just saying, like our away, playing away, it's been it's one of those days, man. Very frustrating.
Yeah,
very frustrating. I thought, like, okay, looking at the lineup, I said, okay, well, 3 very defensively minded midfielders. I think the plan is to try to press them, win the ball up front, really up high, release people like Raheem Sterling and Trossard.
Okay, let me ask you. Can you pause if you don't mind? Give me your appraisal of Raheem Sterling's performance today. Let me know what you think.
He only played 30 minutes. But
for that 30 minutes, I almost broke my TV.
I think it's grossly unfair that everybody look. See, the thing about Raheem Sterling again, he had it in that 30 minutes. He had one chance that he didn't take. I don't think anybody else in that first 30 minutes was playing particularly well as well.
That chance could have changed the course of this game. Do you agree to that?
Could have. It could have changed the course of this game. The same way the Martinelli chance could have changed the game. The same way the Merino chance could have changed.
Okay, which one was easier? The Raheem Sterling chance or the Martinelli chance?
Martinelli's chance was definitely easier.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Come on.
Let me tell you why I said it's easier.
Okay.
Goalkeeper error. So the goalkeeper is panicked when the player is coming back at him like, I've messed this up. It's easier to get in the keeper's head at that point and score a goal. Goalkeeper makes an error. Like imagine when Raya kicked the ball that time and then Bournemouth got it. At that point, there's so much pressure on the goalkeeper to not mess things up that it's easier for you to capitalize on it and score that goal. Unlike the one that he sees coming, which is an open play goal. He knows, okay, this defender is tracking. This guy, I can move to the left. I can move to the right. He's keeping his eye on the ball. With this one, he's keeping his eye on the ball, but he's also panicked. And if you don't know that as a striker, geez. Like when you put pressure on the keeper and they play badly and then they see you that you win the ball and you're coming back, you know that they're scared.
If you look at how he placed it, that was the same angle I would have chosen for him to try and place it, even though it wasn't high enough. But Raheem Sterling's chance,
he tried to go around Kepa. Why didn't he go inside? He should have cut. He's right-footed. You act like you're going to shoot it down, then you shoot in. You know.
But Raheem Sterling's chance was very easy. Just shoot it with your left. As in, the space was shoot this thing with your left. He wanted to call back to his Raheem, like Raheem the Sterling. Man, this is not even Raheem Sterling. This is Raheem Kobo. Raheem Shillings. Like, this was crazy.
Look, I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans try to shit on Raheem Sterling today. Pardon my
no, we are justified for tonight. We are justified.
And I will say this again. There were a lot more players on that pitch that need flogging than Raheem Sterling.
Like who? Mention names.
Trossard needs to be flogged.
I'm telling you.
Trossard.
But guess what? Like I said earlier, right? I've seen those kind of passes from Trossard too many times. Like we're getting away with it. I've seen it so many times from Trossard.
Kyrian needs to be flogged. Who else? Saliba needs to be flogged today. In fact, Saliba needs to wash.
No. I don't blame Saliba. I'll tell you why.
Let me tell you why I blame Saliba.
Okay.
Please. This Bournemouth striker is not the fastest guy. I'm sure you've done your homework. I'm sure the coaching crew have told you. You've checked out their matches. You've watched their games. You know how fast they run. He's not the fastest guy. Saliba, you can catch this guy. There was no need to touch him. There was no need. This is the player that we consistently, hail and say, oh, Saliba, a very cool, calm, calculated a very calm player on the ball, and he likes to mark his players close. Hey, Saliba, Rolls Royce. If it was Gabriel now, I guarantee you what everybody says, bozo moment.
Exactly.
No, Saliba had a bozo moment. Simple.
I'll tell you why it's agreed. Now, if you watch that time, right, Saliba and Gabriel, they were keeping the player offside. And Trossard, whatever is going through his head, decides to play a horrible pass backwards. And as his instinct of a defender, kicked him. I understand that academically, you shouldn't have done that, but I can understand the instinct of defending that kicked him when they're trying to play a player offside. And our own player decided to be idiotic. That's what Trossard did. So I'm putting the whole blame on Trossard.
My point again is this. Your player has made a mistake. Should you also make a mistake?
Do we believe that sometimes instincts can kick in?
I hear instincts, but again, so before Trossard was able to pass that ball back stupidly the way he did. The question is, Gabriel and Saliba, your eyes are open. You've seen who you're playing with. You've seen who the striker is. You know you can outrun this guy, which is why you're playing him offside. Right? You know you can outrun him, which is why you're playing him offside.
The reason you're playing offside is not because they know you can outrun him. We had the ball. You should be passing backwards.
I know. Just in case, I'm saying just in case.
Yeah.
For some reason, he beats that offside. You know you can catch, which is why you're standing where you're standing.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that, why did you touch him?
Like I said, I'm not justifying it. I'm saying this instinct kicked in as a defender because we wasn't expecting that horrible pass from Trossard. Yeah, I did keep him offside. We're trying to press forward, and you play that horrible pass.
Trossard, like I said, needs to be flogged. Another person that needs to be flogged is David Raya. David Raya needs to be. I think
he had too many drinks from his engagement. I think he had too many drinks.
I don't care what he had. My point is there was enough quality in that team to go to Bournemouth and get a 1-0 and just leave that place. I mean, those are the kind of games where you just want to go get 1-0 and just go home. 1-0 to the Arsenal. This season, like I said, I don't really care about how well you perform anymore. I just care about the 3 points. If you get me 3 points in the game, I'm happy with it. It's not the end of the world for me because I know that there's a lot more games to play. There's 30 more games to be played. And other top teams are going to drop points too, regardless. So let's not act like they're not going to drop points. But my thing is, it's just annoying that we dropped it to Bournemouth. It's also annoying the way we dropped it, causing individual mistakes that cost us the game. Just individual mistakes, exactly. If you leave the player alone, and I get instincts, but my question again is, in 2 seasons, we've not seen Saliba have that instinct, even though he's been in that same position. So suddenly I'm like, what happened today? That's a brain fart. Because I've seen him in that same position for 2 straight seasons in 38 games, in Champions League games, and he's allowed those players to run and caught up with them and made the last ditch.
No, he has actually conceded 2 penalties from those kind of positions.
Remember,
I know.
You know what? But I would rather he chases the player, concede the penalty, not even like last month, I could kick the ball out or whatever. Maybe the player runs it, like they give a penalty, will give him a yellow card because.
Did you see Raya's position during that concession, that stupid red card they gave away? Raya was already opening on the other side for a passing angle before our friend Trossard did that pass. So,
and then Raya,
like an empty goal.
And again, like I said, I also blame Raya because at this point, the minute you see Trossard make that pass and you see Saliba turn around and you see the striker running, Raya should have been running out because that would have made the striker think that I now need to find a space. And that way, Saliba sees Raya coming. Saliba realizes, okay, I can either leave the player alone, run past him.
Exactly.
And go and be the second defender with Raya. So even if he dribbles past Raya, he's got me to face.
So the double party there was that Raya was not even at the post at that time. If you go and watch the clip, Raya was on the other side waiting trying to open a passing lane. So the guy would have actually just scored. But Solskjaer should have allowed him. I agree. You should have allowed him to score. We have a better chance playing with 11 men.
11 men on the pitch. So that's why I said a lot. Today was just a brain fart for a lot of the players. Today was just I'm angry because it's Bournemouth. That's the only reason.
Me too. I was confident in my preview. I said 3-0. I was confident we were going to go there and win.
I wish it was Liverpool that we played today and this happened. I have an excuse to say, well, I was 1 man down. You guys came and beat me 2-0, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But it's Bournemouth, and they're a good team. I'm not trying to diss them. We can't be.
But we're a better team. That's the fact. We're a better team.
And these are the games where we just don't have to drop points. These are the games where we cannot drop points, So this might come back and bite us at the end of the season if we're not careful. I just feel like, there's a lot more competition this season from a lot more teams. A lot more teams are playing very well. So I know that teams are going to drop points. Liverpool, Chelsea tomorrow, we'll see what happens. That in itself is a matchup that could see us 4th place by December. Fourth place by December, but that doesn't mean we're in and around it. We're 1 point away from the leaders, and whatever the case is, we can still catch up. City could go top, and then Liverpool second. Chelsea could be 3rd or 4th by the time we know it. And these are the talking points that I just don't want to hear from rival fans.
But unfortunately, we have to hear it. Unfortunately, we put ourselves there.
But if we have to just talk about just the game in itself today, the game in itself was just a bit.
The game was ass for me. The game was ass. After that first 20 minutes, I had that feeling like it might not be our day because Mr. Foster was telling me confidently on the phone, we are still going to win. I'm saying, are you watching the same game I'm watching? Because the swagger Arsenal usually have, the passing swagger, wasn't there today.
Yeah. So there's something about watching the game and just knowing after 20-25 minutes that you're not going to score. I honestly thought we're going to end 0-0. But then when I was talking to Go with the Flow, he texted me. I was like, during the game, I just responded to him and I said, well, I still think we're going to win. Because, of course, I'm going to back my team up. But
definitely.
Honestly, I was watching and I was just saying to myself, I think we might end this game 0-0. Like, the way we're playing, we've set up so defensively and our offensive players are not – Trossard is not fast. Havertz can do the business, but he needs a
fast outlet on the side. And Raheem Sterling that is fast is acting a fool.
See, let's stop this. Raheem Sterling, everybody just wants to shit on this guy.
I'm not shitting on him. See,
I won't allow it.
Okay, he has played how many games for Arsenal? Let me ask you then. Let's exploit this. How many games has he played for Arsenal?
He's played 3 games so far.
How many have you been impressed with?
He scored in the ones that mattered. He scored in the top. Look, this is what I'm saying to this season. I don't care how you perform as long as
performance is the proof of repetition. Do you agree with that?
I agree with all of that. But we're in a position where, ask yourself, Gabby Jesus, Mikel Arteta made a statement at his last interview again when they asked about Gabby Jesus. I saw an article where he simply said the guy has to prove that he deserves to start.
Yeah.
Which means in training, there's something Raheem Sterling is doing that shows why he started today over Gabby Jesus on the right over there.
We know a lot of things that Nketiah used to do in training, but failed to show us on the pitch for how many years?
I know. So my thing again is this, but then you're now working with a player who is prem proven and there's just some things wrong. And like, but in training is looking good, which means once he's unlocked, maybe this might be the game. But Gabriel Jesus is not showing that in training, so you don't want to risk putting him on the pitch because he's not showing what you need to be done. So the point is, one is showing it, and then he gets there and he stinks up the place, just like every other player today stank up the place. Because honestly speaking, I think the level that everybody played at today, it was so poor that even though Raheem Sterling was poor, it made Raheem Sterling even look poorer.
But I agree. But even though as we're poor today, Merino looked at least decent. Partey looked decent. Now we again, Kayava, the other players were shit, but those three players, at least out of the shit, they provided a little bit of hope, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't look. I'm going to send Mikel Arteta another email again, like I always send Arsenal an email, just abusing them. They're going to get one. This one, I'm going to use ChatGPT to use big grammar to finish them. They're going to learn. They're going to learn the hard way. Oga, just put the ball in the back of the net. I don't care how you do it. Just put the ball in the back of the net and make sure that you don't allow them score against you. I mean, it's conceding those kind of penalties. Like Raya was beat, and then he was like, "Oh, I didn't touch him." Of course you did.
You did touched him.
What are you talking about here?
Yeah.
And Kiri are playing those kind of passes. So it's just like all of these factors together just.
But let me ask you a question. Like I asked Mr. Fosa offline. I actually surprised about Kivior's performance. He has that in him.
We keep saying he has that in him. The point is, I'm not surprised about it, but he's not getting enough playing time as well. He has that in him, and
that is why he's not getting enough playing time.
No, but for things like that to be shaken off, you can't just do it in training. It has to actively be tested in real games, and we need to start playing him a lot more with either.
Ahead of who?
No, with either like the under 23s in real games, because he's still. I mean, there's ways they do these things where the players are like 20, 21, like when Timber came back from injury, he was playing 21s for a while, but we can actually get him in real games that mean something to the club.
So much sharpness.
Yeah, so I feel like that would help him shake away all those jitters because now he's playing real games and he's like, but when you just throw him into the deep end like this, I'm not making excuses for him. Expect him to mess things up for you. Simple.
But I've been playing for this season. He has playing a few games. Like he has been coming in and out of the team.
And that's what I'm saying. But the point is, he's coming for a few minutes here, a few minutes there. And luckily, your prayer is that in that few minutes, he doesn't have that bozo moment. In that few minutes,
yeah,
that's your prayer because he's a good player. It's just you're just hoping that he doesn't have. And again, I think we went and played him out of position. He's not a right fullback.
Like I said, I'm sticking. I see your fair point. I'm sticking the fact that we're too defensive in the midfield. If I played one area down, actually,
if you say play one defensive midfielder and two attacking, who are the two attacking that we have? Literally, all our look. Let's count our midfielders that are fit right now. Let's list them.
Okay,
list all the fit midfilders.
We have Partey, Merino, Rice,
Nwaneri attacking.
Jorginho. Defensive.
Who else?
That's it.
That's what I'm saying. We have of the fit midfielders, we only have one attacking midfielder in there. So
why don't you use him?
No, but again, see, I can't speak to why he didn't use him. All I'm just saying is when I hear Arsenal fans, when we lose our mind and say we could have played more attacking midfield and played just 1-6 and blah blah blah, we don't have them. We just have. We have East and one there, and I said, and I gave reasons. I don't know if these reasons are valid. These are just from my own deductions of things I've read and what I follow. That the amount of training time and for the manager to pick you, there has to be a level of performance that he's seen in training. It's like, okay, yeah, you're talented, but we made a game plan for Bournemouth, and this you weren't able to make a couple of trainings because of your age, law, school, this, that. I can put you on the bench and give you 20 minutes by There's a lot of different factors that which might be the reason. I don't know. I'm not giving. I don't know. I'm just saying. But for me, if you look at the bench, everybody we have is more or less defensive. And that for me is is where we say, okay, well, use your players to the best of their ability. Since we have a lot of defensive midfielders, why don't we try and win the ball up front, up high?
The match is gone. It's a disappointing loss. We have to move away from. We have to move on from it. We can't redeem this point anymore. But we can redeem in other ways. Hopefully, win the rest of some of our matches, and our rivals can lose matches. So the way forward. What's the way forward for you? Let's say hypothetically, against Liverpool next week, there is no Saka, there is no Odegaard. How do you approach it?
If there's no Odegaard, no Saka next week, and there's no Saliba next week,
let us know. Look at this comment. The discipline is getting too much. I think we are taking this out of context. Like, the Arsenal doesn't have any indiscipline problem, or am I saying the wrong thing?
Yeah, everybody talking about it. I've talked about discipline as well. I said I think Arteta needs to address some discipline issues, which is, for example, getting yellow cards for wasting time for training. You don't need to do that to yourself. Now you put yourself in a position where you already have a yellow card. You can't tackle the way you want to tackle as a defender. Ben White, like, not necessary. These are the indisciplines that I'm talking about.
Okay.
If you're gonna do dark arts, then make sure you master it properly.
Yeah. But do you know that is a horrible habit from Ben White since he has been at Arsenal to delay certain things, to delay throwing, and I don't know why. I don't think that's an Arteta problem. I think that is a Ben White problem.
That's why I said Arteta needs to deal with it by calling it to his attention.
Yeah.
Saying, listen, okay, here's the thing. If you get another yellow card in the next game for delay,
fine.
Not only are you getting a fine, I'm going to sit you out 3 games and I'm going to play somebody else. I at this point, I'm not going to risk it, because you're going to cost me the game, and that's something that the manager has to deal with, those type of indisciplines. If you're talking about any other type of indiscipline, I don't think Arsenal. I mean,
yeah, I'm not a dirty team. That's not a dirty team.
Rice red card, really negative.
Yeah, it's so.
The Trossard one.
Yeah.
I can blame Trossard for booting the ball, because everybody was saying he was trying to pass it. I just saw that when I looked at it again and I stopped, I checked the trajectory of the ball. It didn't look like he was trying to boot it to where Martinelli was running. It just looked like he booted up the pitch.
Some will argue it was you thought that he wanted to. The referee was about to blow the halftime whistles.
But even at that, you don't boot the ball because they blow the halftime whistle. You're professional.
You can. Some people, I've seen players do that.
But I'm saying these are some. Here's the thing again. We see that they've been giving Arsenal all these type of cards. You have to eliminate the things that you can eliminate that are not necessary.
I see your argument. I'm not being idiot. I'm just trying to argue some people's point to say that. But come on, I've seen other players like today's red card, right? It's a red card, but I've seen players get away with a yellow, especially when the referee gives a yellow.
Which is why I'm saying that we need to look. Arsenal needs to look. See, let me explain to you. As a club, I'm sure they are aware that every other team has reported to the FA that we're doing dark arts and they don't like it. And we've seen people complain about it. We've seen the press write about it. The FA has been notified. PGMOL has been notified. Arsenal doing dark arts. I think referees are a little more stringent on us as regards to certain things that we do, because they don't know what is dark arts or which one is just our genuine error. So it's not just punish them, because at the end of the day, if another player from a team like Wolves that doesn't do dark arts, right, spends an extra 3 seconds before he does his throwing, they're like, these ones have been throwing the ball quickly throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
But you have delayed and delayed and delayed. There's no how you're not. And then in the next game, the next referee is already out looking at you, Ben White.
Exactly.
You're already marked for it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like there needs to be a level of discipline with how we do it. A measured way to doing it, whereby it's not like, okay, it's clear that you're trying to waste time, so yeah.
So we play Shakhtar Donetsk midweek in the Champions League and Liverpool. Do you think you will actually muster some victories in the next few games, or you think this might spill over to the next games?
No. I don't think this spills over to the next game. I think Bukayo Saka should be fit for the next game on Tuesday. I think, or is it Wednesday when we're playing? I'm not even sure. I need to look at the schedule. I think Saka should be fit, hopefully. From what I hear, Odegaard is coming back soon as well. From what Mikel Arteta said, we don't know how soon. But if anything, 48 hours is a long time to change things for injuries. You can have a couple of players back, but I think even without those players, I think it's just about rejigging, rearranging our setup. Now that we have Martinelli and we know he's fit, I will play Martinelli on the left. I will play Trossard in the Odegaard position like we did the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Odegaard position, I'll play Havertz up front, and then I'll walk around the rest of it. For defense, hopefully, if Timber is back, then we can have a Ben White and a Gabriel partnership in the middle, and a Timber on the right.
All right,
and
yeah.
Have a Calafiori on the left. So yeah, Raya is up for it, and his head should be back. He should drink some water and get over his hangover.
Yeah.
And then in the Liverpool side, I think we can muster wins with Shakhtar Donetsk. I think with Liverpool it will be a lot harder. But if we use our strengths and we're playing at home, I think the Emirates should still be a fortress for us. We should be able to get something out of Liverpool.
Can I be honest with you? I actually think Liverpool will be an easier game.
Well, that's what I said. I think we need no. See, it would have been for me. I look at it. I would have said it would have been an easier game if all our players were fit and there. So if we had Saliba, we had Saka, and all I'd like, well, that's going to be an easier game for. I would look at it that way.
So let me push that point. Do you think Saliba will be a huge miss? I'm not saying not be a miss. Do you think he'll be a huge miss?
He will be a huge miss.
I don't say it that way because I've seen Gabriel and Ben White play centre half before brought in Saliba, and they did a fantastic job in that season.
No, I'm not saying they haven't, but they haven't done it together for a long time. So there's another thing you have to put into consideration, that when you haven't done it for a long time, it's like riding a bicycle. When you get on it, you will still wobble a little bit, and I hope that the wobble is not big enough to cause goals against us.
Which is a fair point to push back. It's a fair point. Yeah.
It will wobble before you fit it in. They barely have less than 3 or 4 training sessions to get their act together, and then to work together as a unit and be ready against Liverpool. In fact, they have 1 training session to be ready against Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yeah.
Then after that, they get to.
So do you think he won't play Saliba? Once we know that Saliba will be missing for the Liverpool game. So do you think it's wise for him to test it out against Shakhtar Donetsk?
I think play Saliba for Shakhtar Donetsk. Let him get some more playing time. Saliba doesn't need to get a whole week off because he's going.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say too. Exactly.
So. Match, I think he'll play him against Shakhtar Donetsk. He's going to play the standard defense we have, and then but then that means that gives less time for Ben White and Gabriel to work together and really, fusion that partnership just to hold on.
I see your point, but I don't see a huge disparity that because they've not played in the last 2 years together doesn't mean they've lost the understanding they had the time they played together. So
I'm not saying I'm not saying that they lost it. I just said when you've not played in that position for a while, you wobble a little bit, and I hope that wobble in the night during that 90 minutes, whatever the wobble is not a big enough wobble to cause goals against us. Yes, you will remember how to ride a bike, and then you take one, and then you start to really, but when you first get on it, there's that initial, if it's right back that he's playing, which he's used to already for the last 2 seasons, I'm here. But now center back, there's certain things that Saliba does that I'm not going to be expecting Ben to now do. We've seen when Saliba gets the ball and drives up front and being the last man. So Timber can play that role as well. We've seen Timber.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah.
So if he's fit and he's back, great stuff. So yeah, I think we get our points from Shakhtar Donetsk, and I think we get our 3 points from Liverpool as well.
Me too. I think against Liverpool, I think we get our 3 points and actually go up in the summit. So thank you so much for coming. Even though we didn't get a victory today, is a downer for Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans, don't overreact. I've seen some overreactions.
Arsenal fans you guys we are the worst.
As in, they are overly hysterical. I get it.
We're the worst fan base. We just we lose.
And we rip everything apart.
We're the kind of people who if we cook, and then they taste the food and then they're like, this food is not good. They will throw the food away, throw the pot, throw the cooker.
And guess what? The house, if possible, they can burn it down.
Burn the house down. When they burn it down, they now stand outside and be like, that food was just so tasteless.
Exactly.
Then they'll build it again. They'll cook another food. They say, this food is good. Let's build it. They'll continue. Then another week, they'll cook the food. They'll say, burn it down.
Exactly.
That's dramatic.
We're overly hysterical. I'm not saying you should not be disappointed, but to go full-blown lunacy, disappointment and being overly hysterical are 2 different things.
Like I'm very, very disappointed in the players because because I still think that the way we set up, I still see us good enough to play Bournemouth. Like I'm still looking at this team that played today, and I'm like, I still see us good enough to play Bournemouth. So I'm disappointed in the players. In the setup, could we have set up better? Maybe put Ethan, like you said. Yeah, maybe. Would Ethan have made a difference? Yes, maybe. Maybe not.
I'll share something, right? Against the match we played against Southampton last week, right? Or 2 or 3 weeks ago. Look at the difference Martinelli and Trossard made when they were introduced to the game.
Yes. So, like, again, also you have to factor in the opponent that you're playing.
I understand that part, but certain players have different influences in games.
Yeah, and certain players do very well against certain teams.
I'm referring to the skill set they provide.
That's something like with the skill set they provide, they do better against certain teams and the way those teams are set up with the skill set they provide. Because again, one of the factors that people do not know is this. I don't know if anybody, if people do a lot of research at this point, but as much as people said Raheem Sterling looked bad, he did look bad. The whole Arsenal team looked bad, but Raheem Sterling has scored the most goals in his career against Bournemouth. That's a team.
I get that, but today,
I'm not. I agree. I'm saying, but the whole team was poor today. So I'm not just going. I'm just saying that again. That could be another factor why you want such a player to play against Bournemouth if you have a Bukayo Saka, because if you're counting reasons why you want
you should play him. I see that part too.
This is because there's some people are like, again, and it doesn't matter who the manager of the club is at the time. It's just this particular club. I just enjoy going against them because there are people who like to abuse me and banter me. I just, and that's the kind of thing that sometimes might be so let's say Gabriel Jesus and him are doing very well in training. Okay, which of you is going to play? But then there's just that one factor. And it could be like, you know what, hey, this guy scores against the team regularly. He scored against them last season, playing last season for Chelsea. He's like, this is something that, as bad as he was, he scored against them. This was the same manager that they had, Areola, last season. Yeah. So,
I see your point. Definitely, I see your point.
That could be that could be part of the reasons. No, I'm not saying it is the sole reason, but it could
definitely.
But reasons why manager was like, let's put you in. Yeah, and they all played poorly, but man, we'll wait and see. Shakhtar Donetsk. I think we beat Shakhtar Donetsk, and then we beat them for the nonsense that they did to us with that. What's that boy's name? The Ukrainian.
What's his name? Modric.
Yeah, I call him Ukrainian. Both that they tried to. Thank God they cheated us. So we'll just go down. We'll just beat them just to just say thank you, just to say thank you, for cheating us.
Exactly. So thank you, Daya, for coming on. Even though not on the fact that I prefer we celebrating a victory, but it is what it is. Thank you guys for joining us. Sorry about the comment section. I didn't even know. Even say go with the flow should have texted me. He didn't say nothing to me. Go with the flow.
When God wants to silence your enemies, He knows how to do it. I think God knew that the minute the stream started, people like go with the flow will just come and start commenting. So
exactly. So
the Lord just
we put a gag order in their mouth.
The Lord just shut it off. The Lord say, God, let me off the comment for these people first, and then
exactly.
If they ask, they will receive.
It's true, because that energy they came in the first 10-20 minutes. You'll be ferocious. You'll be typing. So there was a gag order.
Typing from above. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh Lord. So thank you so much. Your last word as round of this unfortunate loss to Bournemouth.
Hey, we bounce back. We move. There's 30 more to play. I know for a fact that, and I'm going to say it again, we're winning the league this season. We are winning the league this season. I know for a fact that is happening. One loss does not determine where the team is at. And, people can say whatever it is that they want to say as regards to, you guys have been playing poorly. I'm like, no, of the 8 games we played this season, we played 3 with 10 men. And those are the only 3 games we've dropped points in. Anytime we've had 11 men on the pitch, we've never looked like we're going to lose a game or we're going to be beat. So, yeah. So peace, people. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's true. You text. Sorry. I don't just look at my phone now. Sorry, go with the flow. You actually texted me. Thank you so much. Go with the flow. So it's my bad. I apologize. Right? I can't bash publicly. I not apologize publicly. So I'm apologizing to you publicly.
He texted me immediately. So he said, "Let me read what he said. You have to read it before we go." He said, "This is what this man said. This Ahmed he said." Have you deleted the message? No. Yeah. He said, "How are we watching a stream and we cannot comment? LOL, laughing out loud emoji."
You see, you can still send the cynicism inside it, inside the message.
He said, he's asking, he said, "How is it that we are watching a stream and we cannot comment?" I just became weak. I said,
I just thank you. I just saw it now. I was not checking my phone, my WhatsApp messages. So thank you so much. So guys, thank you for coming to actually join us in this review of the unfortunate loss. Our first loss this season against Bournemouth. It's a bad end in your face. These kind of games can happen. Like Dio said, it is not over, right? I remember when we started the season on a brilliant form 2 seasons ago. After 10 games, we're telling us it's too early. So by that logic, it's too early to write us off. So guys, I get it. It's a disappointing loss, but guess what? We will bounce back and we'll do what Arsenal always does. Like the video if you're watching the playback. Go to give me a moment. Let me do what I usually do. How come I forgot the name of your channel? Remind me, please.
Banter on the Pitch.
Please, yes, Banter on the Pitch. Go to Banter on the Pitch and like his videos and subscribe to the channel and support him. Very, very important. And if you're watching that's not pressing to please, if you are yet to subscribe, please consider subscribing and stick a like on the video. Very, very important. So, guys, that'll be all for now. Thank you for joining us. One more time, like the video, subscribe, and all those jazz. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.
Peace.